4-0 start to my NFL best bets in the playoffs, but now it's time for Monday Night Football as the Vikings were supposed to travel to LA to take on the Rams, but instead this game will be played at State Farm Stadium in Arizona as horrible fires have ravaged California. In this video, I'm going to give you two picks, and one of them is plus money. If you're new to this page and just stumbling on for the first time, welcome. My name is Peter Apple, and this channel is the home for all of my NFL picks. And if you've been cashing this hot streak with us so far, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for future videos as we have the divisional round right on deck. Just so everybody is aware, I am a Rams fan, but I don't think my bias is going to show up in this video as I'm focusing on a struggle that my Rams have had all season long, and that's defending tight ends. I want us to look at TJ Hockenson in this matchup between the Vikings and the Rams on Monday Night Football. But before we do that, a reminder that BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bets. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you'll be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. It's easy to get started. Log into your BetMGM account and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to one player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K. Be sure to take advantage of this offer, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code JUSTGRIDIRON and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. All right, let's get back to looking at the matchup for Vikings tight end TJ Hockenson. And now we have to realize 4 teams have allowed at least 105 receptions to tight ends this year, and the Rams are one of them, allowing 106 this season, tied for the second most in the NFL. It's led to plenty of yards gained as well. They rank 4th in total yards allowed to tight ends at 1,101. They are one of 3 teams who have allowed at least 105 receptions and at least 1,100 yards. This season, the average tight end output against the Rams is 6.2 receptions at 64.8 yards. The Rams play some of the most zone coverage in the NFL, typically leading to these open pockets where guys like TJ Hockenson can settle in nicely as a safety blanket. And truthfully, I'm a Rams fan. It's getting out of hand. In their last game against the Seahawks, Noah Fant led the team in receiving yards. He had 5 receptions for 63 yards. That was only the 4th time this entire season Noah Fant has had 60 yards in a game, and only the 3rd time with 5 receptions. Trey McBride absolutely destroyed us, catching his first touchdown of the season. Remember that story? Yeah, he got it against us. And he also had 12 catches for 123 yards. The week before that, in week 16, Tyler Conklin of the Jets went for 5 catches for 59 yards. George Kittle, who's obviously awesome, 4 catches, 61 yards. Dalton Kincaid didn't even play against the Rams when the Rams faced the Bills, but the combo of Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill combined to go 10 receptions, 73 yards. So as you can see, tight ends have been eating against the Rams. And TJ Hockenson's props, they're reasonably priced for an average matchup, as he's only been over this receiving yards line in 5 of his 10 games this season, and he's only been over 4.5 receptions in 4 of his 10 games this year. But he's also coming off one of the worst games of his season. He was heavily targeted in that game against the Lions, grabbing 8 targets. That's just 1 behind Justin Jefferson's 9, which led the Vikings in that game. But TJ Hockenson only had 2 catches for 9 yards. I'm not surprised. The Lions have allowed the 3rd fewest yards allowed to tight ends this season, and they play the most man coverage in the league. Their defense, when guarding tight ends, is basically the antithesis of what the Rams do. A lot of zone, and they're getting crushed by tight ends. While the Lions, a lot of man coverage, been great against tight ends. The Rams and Vikings, they already played, but TJ Hockenson didn't play in that game, which kind of makes me think that KOC and company get him involved early to take pressure off Justin Jefferson, but also take pressure off Sam Darnold with some nice, easy passes over the middle to kind of get him into a rhythm, right? Darnold was seeing ghosts in his last game when the pressure came, and while the Rams, they can't get pressure like the Lions could, they still do a good job getting after the quarterback. Hockenson, I think, is going to serve as more of a safety blanket for Darnold in this game. Hockenson only has one game in the playoffs in his entire career on his resume, but he stepped up in a big way back in 2022, went for 10 receptions for 129 yards. Now, I don't expect him to replicate that performance, but I do think that he has a ton of upside in this game, and he's playing in a dome-like environment at State Farm Field, so we won't really have to worry about the elements in this one. So for all of these reasons, TJ Hockenson has plenty of upside in this matchup. I took him over 41 and a half receiving yards earlier on in the week for a unit. And I also took him over 4.5 receptions at plus 130 for a half unit. This video is coming out, of course, later, so the lines may have moved by the time that you're listening to this. I would play TJ Hockenson for a unit over 44 and a half. That would be my peak. But I also don't mind diving into the alt line market, right? We took Isaiah Likely over 27 and a half receiving yards. Again, the Steelers are also terrible against tight ends. He led the Ravens in receiving yards at 53 yards. Now, I hope the same could happen, but I don't mind diving into the alt market. And then if we're talking about over 4.5 receptions, I would take that line down to plus 120. So let me know what you think about this play in the comments section below. Make sure to smash the like button as well if you've been cashing with us and you're excited for this play. And if you have other plays in this Rams versus Vikings game, let me know in the comments section below. Let's continue this heater and sweep wildcard weekend. Let's go Bucks. They need to cover that leg. And then let's go TJ Hockenson. Why not us?